guys, welcome back to this channel. Our lecture for today, we are going to be discussing on the introduction to metabolism. So what is metabolism? We have been hearing the word metabolism and metabolism. So we are going to understand what is metabolism in this video. Please, before you watch this video to the end, make sure to click the like button, turn off the notification bell, and also subscribe to my channel so that whenever I drop a video like this, you are going to be the first person to be notified. Coming back to what metabolism is. Now, metabolism is the process by which the body converts food into energy by what? A biochemical reactions, which is basically triggered by the action of enzyme. So the word biochemical and ordinary is basically different. We have a biochemical reaction and we also have an ordinary chemical reaction. A biochemical reaction basically is just triggered by enzyme, while an ordinary chemical reaction can be of an enzyme or without enzyme. They can carry out the reaction. So basically, whenever the body converts food into energy and is being utilized by the body, it is basically known as what is called metabolism. And now metabolism can be of two types. How is the body generating that energy? It can be of two classifications, which are what? The anabolism, and we have also the catabolism. So let's look into it in details. What is anabolism? Anabolism basically, it can be of what? The synthesis. Whenever you are synthesizing what? A complex molecule from simpler ones, it's basically what is called what? Anabolism. As you can see from the structures, we have some set of amino acids that fuse together by a peptide bond to form protein. And the protein is a complex molecule. We have amino acids such as alanine, we have tyrosine, we have methionine, we have tryptophan, and we also have proline. All these, they are simple molecules that come together to form a complex molecule. So the building of a complex molecule from simpler ones is just anabolism. While the next one we have is catabolism. Catabolism is basically what? The breaking down of complex molecules to release energy. Okay? So when you are breaking down complex molecule, in return you are releasing that energy. It's catabolism. So you are breaking a complex molecule or a macromolecule into simpler ones. As you can see from the structure in this page, we have carbohydrate, which is a complex molecule, or you can call it a macromolecule because we have macromolecules such as lipids, we have protein, and we also have carbohydrate are the basic macromolecules we have. So we have the simpler one that is being broken down into such as glucose, we have fructose, and we have galactose. That is basically catabolism. So in summary to catabolism and anabolism, catabolism is just breaking down, while anabolism is just building up of complex molecules. So we have the next thing on our discussion for today, which is the stages of what? Metabolism. We have three stages there. We have the stage 1, we have the stage 2, and the stage 3. Before energy is being produced, where and where does it passes from? Where and where does it occurs? So all those pathways, they are the stages. The organs that carry out the processes of digestion and absorption, conversion, and regeneration, just about the stages. So we have the stage 1, which is also the what? The digestion and absorption stage. We have stage 2, which is the conversion to common metabolites, and we have stage 3, the ATP generation in the mitochondria. The stage 1 occurs where? Extracellularly, meaning it occurs outside the cell. So the perfect place for this stage 1 is in the GIT, while the stage 2 occurs inside the cell, and the stage 3 on the other hand occurs in the mitochondria. And let's look into a diagram overview of the stages of metabolism. On the right hand side we have the sites of occurrence, and the left hand side we have the overview of the various stages. On the top we have the stage 1, the middle part we have the stage 2, and the bottom part we have the stage 3. On the right hand side, the top we have the GIT, which is the digestive system, the middle part we have the cell, and the bottom part we have the mitochondria. Perfect. So now on stage 1 we have the complex molecule, the protein, the starch, and also the lipids. These complex molecules, they are basically breaking down into what? They are simpler molecules, which is also called what? They are building blocks of amino acid, or should I say building blocks of protein, which is amino acid, building block of starch, which is glucose, glucose, should I say galactose or fructose. They are all single sugars. Those are building blocks of starch. And we also have the building blocks of lipid, which is what? Fatty acid and what? Glycerol. So this is just on the stage 1. It occurs in the GIT. And there are some enzymes that make sure that this stage is being carried out, that this macromolecule is being converted. Let me just take an example. If you take a meal, carbohydrate, such as bread, in your mouth, the tooth will chew those larger molecules into simpler ones. And the saliva will secrete enzymes such as what? The saliva alpha amylase. And those alpha amylase will now break down that complex molecule into simpler ones. And those simpler ones will now go into the stomach, from the stomach to the smaller what? Intestine, and they will be absorbed. And this process is taking place in the GIT. The GIT simply means gastrointestinal what? Tract, or the digestive system. Now let's come to stage 2. In the stage 2, those smaller molecules that was converted from the larger molecules will be converted into a common metabolite, such as what? Acetyl-CoA. Not only acetyl-CoA that is generally known as a common metabolite. We also have pyruvate. Now there are some cells that does not have this mitochondria, such as the red blood cell. So how do they produce energy? There is a pathway that is known as the glycolytic pathway. Now what the red blood cell does is it's going to utilize that molecules that is generated from the complex molecule, and to use that molecule in a different pathways and some different steps, it will generate energy. At first, it will generate what? Pyruvate. That's why I say pyruvate is also an intermediate micro what? Or should I say an intermediate metabolite, aside from acetyl-CoA. So pyruvate will be converted into lactate whenever there is no oxygen. But when there is an oxygen, pyruvate will be converted into acetyl-CoA, which will definitely go into the stage 3. In the mitochondria, we have what? The citric acid cycle, or popularly known as what? The Krebs cycle. At the Krebs cycle, acetyl-CoA will enter into the system, by which ATP is generated, carbon dioxide generated, water generated, GTP generated, NADH generated, and also FADH generated. FADH and NADH, they are popularly known as a reducing equivalent. They will go into the electron transport chain to further or the generation of energy there, and this particular stage occurs in the mitochondria. We have the last thing on our list today, which is basically the summary of all what we have been discussing. The first thing on our list we have is definition of metabolism, which we said that is basically by which the body using or converting this food into what? Energy by some should I say biochemical reactions, which is basically triggered by enzyme. Then we move further to the types of metabolism, which we talk about the catabolism, and we also talk about what? Anabolism. In the sense that catabolism is the breaking down, and anabolism is what? The building up. And we have the various stages by which energy is produced. The first stage, which is what? The digestion and absorption stage, it happens outside the cell, or it occurs outside the cell. The stage 2, which is what? The conversion to common metabolite, which occurs inside the cell. And the stage 3, which is what? The ATP generation, which occurs in the mitochondria. The basic pathway or the basic site for the first stage is the GIT. The basic pathway or the site for the second stage is the cell, and there is a basic pathway which is the glycolytic pathway. And the basic site for the stage 3 is the mitochondria. In our next video, we are going to be talking about or discussing on the metabolism of carbohydrate. Basically, the metabolism of glucose, the pathways of glucose, the steps involved in the digestion and the absorption of what? Glucose. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, do well to hit the like button, turn on the notification bell, and also subscribe to this channel.